Hi, this is Ani, Day Trading with Ani, and Ani Day Trades on StockTwits and Twitter. And here we are. Netflix. What happened to Netflix today? Netflix got basically whacked today because of the announcement by the CEO that their outlook wasn't as rosy as thought previously. So what happens is in pre-market hours it just plummeted and then tried to pick up once it was open, but then lost that and hit a new low of 168.13. But before we go into anything else possible on this, let's go back on in history, okay? And you'll take a note here that in previous years, I mean in the last year or so, I've all been talking about Netflix in a bullish mode and talking about these patterns over the months since down here about 140 and riding it up actually higher than this all the way up to what I call this cloud formation that was beginning to happen here, where it rode up to 304 from there, and that was what I call the thundercloud, and that's exactly where we had been in until it's right in here. You see, this was our ride up, and right in here was the topping, and then started moving down. However, I didn't become a bear until quite recently, where I noticed that this could be breaking down and testing these lows, and been expecting, true to the cloud formation pattern, that it would be testing roughly around the 190. Of course, I did not expect it to be doing it the way it is, the way it did. With the announcement, I was just looking for really this bottom test before it would possibly gap up and go further back up to test the highs again. And of course that is not happening as of today. So as of today we are looking at a very bearish outlook, and it hit down to down to the 168 area, 168.13, and closing at 169.50 for the day. So let's take a look at the daily and see what we can figure out from here. And looking at way back to the 140 where this whole thing started, I do think well, checking that all out, it would be really devastating almost to have that hit one more time. However, that is not necessarily out of the realm. And let me just get this out of the way here. And as you can see, this gap down. But I did warn yesterday about this triple top, and actually it hit the quad top. And I warned about that yesterday morning before we got into the day when someone asked me about Netflix. And this certainly looked like it could be coming back down to test where I was talking about, and of course it gapped down and opened lower and then just headed down. So this 160, actually what I'm looking at is the 163 possibility of the bottom that could happen. However, that would be around this area here. Let me see if I can get out there so you can see it, and that would be this bottom here on this initial gap up cloud, and that's possibly, if that loses it, there's a strong possibility, of course, of the one of that would be the 163, then looking down to about 155, 150. And this would be back to zero on the Fibonacci if you're looking at the Fibonacci, and this we are actually below the 78% of the Fibonacci. My markings are not at the same places, so just so you know, these are my own pattern watches that I have that I usually check. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Trade it well, trade it carefully, and I hope you made some profits today on this drop down. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.